year 2000, the thing everybody seems to be nostalgic for lately. The Windows product line was quite large at this point. To say that Microsoft blew up would be an understatement. They had Windows Server, Windows NT, an antitrust hearing carried out against them because they were bundling Internet Explorer, trying to outcompete Netscape Navigator, Windows ME, and the very first OS I personally ever used, Windows 2000. Yeah, somehow no one ever talks about this. I don't get it. But yeah, this is the first version of Windows for personal use using the brand new NT kernel, as far as I'm aware, removing the underlying DOS layer and ridding itself of that legacy baggage. It was fast, sleek, performant, but visually it didn't change very much. But what new touches it adds are quite nice and a sign of where things will go later. I should say, technically, Windows 2000 was a release of the Windows NT product line, which has been around since 1993 and kind of distributed for servers and advanced workstations for the most part. However, it was the first to not be named NT. It introduced fun stuff like the NTFS file system, specifically version 3.0, an encrypted file system, and basic and dynamic disk storage. It also had extra accessibility features, new assistive technologies, and Microsoft increased support for different languages and locale information. Windows 2000 server family has additional features, and this is where it gets fun because there's also a Windows 2000 server. It's wacky, isn't it? But most notably, for the sysadmins in the audience, introduced Active Directory. And ultimately, what would we do without centralized authentication like this in large organizations, right? And yeah, this was the OS that brought that to us, and that's quite interesting. There we go. So, slightly different system, but just about the same idea and as the Debian 2.1, but here we have Windows 2000. This was my actual first OS that I ever used on our family computer. Mostly my dad's computer. But yeah. First Windows on the NT kernel. Or well, no, it's not. But it's the first one on the NT kernel that was kind of more widely released as far as I'm aware. So yeah. More intended for general use. General users. I have no idea what's happening with that wallpaper. I don't think that wallpaper is looking quite right. Oh, off it goes. It's gone. Oh, there it is. That's the wallpaper I was hoping to use. Yeah, double click to open a file. Wow. Control panel. Use X to close a window or program. Sure. Connect to the internet. See, I do have a network card in all of these 86 boxes, but I don't know how to install the proper drivers for them if I even need to, because on my physical Windows 2000 thing, I had an Ethernet PCMCIA card, and that worked just kind of out of the box. I don't remember actually needing to install anything for it. But yeah, this is how I look in control panel. Very different look compared to like Windows 3.1, but obviously this is highly inspired by like Windows 98, 95, a lot more than 3.1 at this point, but yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't think we have a lot of bundled programs or even really all that much to talk about with this. Do get free cell. I think we get the cool version of Solitaire. Here it is. Is there like help? Contents. Objectives. Use all your cards to build up the 4 suit stacks in ascending order, beginning with the aces. 4 suits, beginning with the aces. So this is an, sure. So do I need to get more aces? Yeah. There we go. I don't think I have any aces. Oh. Why did right-clicking do that? Yeah, sadly, I have no idea how to play cards, so I'm going to stop torturing you with this. But yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty cool OS. It's just, I feel like a lot more polished than Windows 95 or even 98 ever looked. You get Internet Explorer. I always like this like thing. It actually spins around whenever you try to load something. Probably not the best idea to even go on the internet with this, but you know, I can always go on my router and like block it out in the firewall. Whatever. Oh, got a little sample picture. And it opens an Internet Explorer of all things. Yeah, alright. Let's see if we got a text document type situation anywhere. Taskbar and start menu. Oh, you can even configure it. That's kind of neat. Advanced. Scroll to programs menu. Get the run dialog, help menu, search, internet search, sign of things to come. One day. In startup, nothing in startup. We got Outlook Express. I really don't like the icon for the recycle bin in this one. It just, I don't know, it doesn't look anything like a recycle bin. I guess that maybe that was a fancy recycle bin shape at the time. I am somewhat curious about something. Can we get like a similar, you know, sounds menu somewhere? I bet we can. Sounds and multimedia. Let's see, can we play them? Oh yeah. Yeah. Net meeting. What the hell is net meeting? Oh my god, can you imagine? It's a critical battery alarm. Just that. You get the clicks. So like I was always a big fan of the clicks. I wonder if there is start Windows, yeah. This is probably my favorite Windows logon sound. Just takes me right back. Just nice and crusty, but at the same time kind of like futuristic in a way. I like this Windows XP looking icon. That doesn't really fit with this logo or anything, but it's definitely like a Windows XP type updates icon. Add, remove hardware. I like the accessibility options and everything being highlighted. Keyboard, whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. See system. What does that tell us? Yeah. I think that was a thing in 95 and 98 too. Yeah. At compatible. 130.544 kilobytes of RAM. That's a really strange amount. I don't know if I configured it like that or if something's not quite working. So what does it say in device manager? Communications port. Wonder if that's where... No, I doubt it. That wouldn't really make any sense. Cool. You get a USB and everything. Performance options. I still remember this. Yeah. Startup and recovery. Alright, yeah, let's make a text file. So like at this point, you probably put it on a USB stick. I think you know what that is. I hope you do. Maybe you're actual like Gen Alpha person watching this and you have no idea what a USB stick is. In that case, that would be odd. But I don't think I can plug in a dummy USB stick into 86 box or anything. But yeah, or make like the blank virtual floppies I've used. But just pretend I put it on a USB stick. It'll be in my computer. This is like perfectly fine. It does plug and play like Windows XP. It would pop right up. I feel like that would be period appropriate. Yeah, the Windows 95, 98 explosion, like, of internet stuff and such. I feel like that was really what changed the landscape of what people expected. Also, I thought this OS came out in 2000. I'm almost certain. I know it makes more sense for it to have come out like 1999 and just be named after a future year, but I think I looked it up and it was 2000. And just turned it on just to shut it down. I'm not getting started. I'm getting done. Windows, keep up. Yeah, you do get this little drop down. I feel like that was always a cool way to do it. I guess this is like the lock screen wallpaper. No idea what that's meant to be or why it's so low res, but it is what it is. Yeah, and this one automatically shuts down. So no more, it's now safe to turn off your computer. It's a proper like ACPI communication, or however that works. So one thing worth noting is that you do still get the command prompt right here, but now it's not MS-DOS or anything. It's not exactly DOS compatible. You can't just run like a DOS game in this or something. But you do just get one. No, it's very DOS-like in a way. I thought who am I was a DOS command as well. Not even clear. Damn, there's like nothing in there. What about send message? Message? Is that what it is? No, it's not. Okay. Well, never mind then. Duh. moving on. Nonetheless, from a consumer standpoint, Windows XP would be the much more radical departure from everything Windows was before. And unlike Windows 2000, which seemingly was used only by me and my dad, it actually reached people, and people actually know about its existence. So 2001, only a year later. From a security perspective, it was just a disaster. It wasn't helped by the emergence of a little thing known as the internet throughout the 90s, now in full swing as more and more households had not just dial-up, but broadband, much higher speeds, and the internet was recovering from the dot-com bubble with the strong businesses and many more spinning up. Its colorful aesthetic was somehow just too much of a departure from the more serious monotone look of Windows just a year prior. I can understand they wanted to attract a much wider audience. Yet I find that this look was immediately dated as soon as it came out when compared to another turn of the millennium OS, Macintosh OS System 10, much anticipated from the ground up rework of the OS, now known as Mac OS X, X meaning 10. After Steve Jobs returned to Apple, Mac OS X was redesigned with a sleek new aqua design language featuring skeuomorphic elements and texture, create a sense of depth. XP, on the other hand, looked cartoonish, and Microsoft, for what it's worth, did actually know this. What's worse is that Windows XP hid many basic system features of Windows, a way to prevent a novice user, someone they were desperately trying to attract and cater to, from nuking their system in some System 32 misadventure. Not only did it hide files, it also hid file extensions. Yikes, now you know who to blame. Though, thankfully for those who wanted to go on that System 32 misadventure after all, they were free to do that by simply downloading one of the many computer viruses widely available for Windows XP, worms running rampant that delivered themselves to you free of charge. You know what they say, Internet Explorer lets your computer browse the internet, and the internet browse your computer. I think it was ActiveX, actually. Still though, something about Windows XP is just so lovable. I think it's just the fact that it just works. For the most part, with some annoyances aside, it does kind of just get out of the way and it runs very well. It's very smooth all around, despite the design not being to my liking. Gotta give them credit, the level of polish is very clear, especially considering how many elements they had to update from Windows 2000. The design language is super consistent, like it or hate it. To this day, you find stuff from Windows XP in modern Windows versions, sometimes even further back, but Windows XP itself, at least on a surface level glance, barely has any visible heritage from Windows 2000 or 98 or 95, save for the classic theme, which you can always enable if you don't much like the look of it. Besides, now available in patriotic colors, and if you're really cool, you use the silver theme, clearly the best one. Also, I'd love to show macOS 10, and believe me, I tried to virtualize almost every version of this era between 10.1 and 10.5 in QEMU and just a bunch of other emulators. I tried to virtualize the x86 versions of them in VMware, but none of it worked. I could, of course, buy an iMac, but I think that'll be a subject for its own video, perhaps, or maybe an addendum to this one. Always open to that. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Pretty good startup sound. Not gonna lie, I feel like probably second best at the very least. But yeah, I actually have a browser here installed, and I think this is hooked up to the internet proper. This is one of those browsers that you can I don't know what that's about, but this is one of those browsers you can use to browse the internet more safely. Wouldn't call it safely. I wouldn't go to like unknown websites with it, but I think it's fine-ish. Like it's better. It's got some of the updates. I think it's pretty cool to see old school YouTube UI, even though of course this came out a bit after XP, quite a bit, by like 10 years. And yeah, I mean, it's Windows XP. I was never a big fan of it. I always thought it looked kind of odd and a bit childlike. It certainly was dated for its time. But, you know, it's got a very consistent style. Like, you can't really blame it. Like, it doesn't have a lot of stuff going on from, like, Windows 95. Like, you can see all of these icons are different from the ones in Windows 2000, which were, a lot of them I think were pretty much recycled 98 icons. Have to give them credit, like they really kind of nailed this stuff here. I feel like you see more Windows 95 and 98 like fallback icons and whatnot in Windows 7 and onwards, but here it's like perfectly clean. It's quite good. Yeah, you get a new start menu and whatnot. It just looks so dated compared to what like macOS looked like at this time. It's such a shame I can't show it at least like interactively like this. But yeah, you do get a 3D pinball, iconic 3D pinball. I think we have 3D acceleration. I think it's space, right? There we go. It's kind of small. Ooh, how do you make it full screen? F4 apparently. Not a very standard button, but yeah. I think it's ooh, that's help. I don't think that's so good, but oh wait, how do you do the left right? I don't remember. It's about pinball. I feel like the most iconic. Oh, I always forget that this version of. Oh dear. I just forget that this is the last version of Firefox, by the way, that I think released for Windows XP. Yeah, I don't think you get the iconic sort of. I wish I showed this in Windows 90 and 95 and 98 as well, but you do get this command prompt window. Kind of because in Windows 3.1 and even 98 and 95, it's still running on top of DOS. So you can just kind of pop up MS-DOS, but this is kind of the replacement. It's still very MS-DOS-like. I don't think there's anything in there. But it's not really MS-DOS. Like, you can't just run a DOS game and expect it to work like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. You get a Windows Media Player that's nice and futuristic 2000s UI. You get a Windows Messenger. You get all sorts of stuff. Get the wizards and shit. More solitaire. Yeah, more images for the decks. It's like I like this one. Yeah, it's cool. Very XP-like. I feel like that's literally a cut. Yeah, that's probably it or something. Yeah, you got your MSN. Ooh, hello. Installation wizard. Connecting to MSN. How about no? Printers and faxes. Yeah. Minesweeper. Pretty iconic version. And you get looking for paint. Just forget that this version of start menu doesn't have search. I feel like that kills it for me immediately. It's like something to even be nostalgic for. I can't imagine it. System information. I'm guessing that's okay. That's actually is this MS Info 32? I think so. Oh dear. Error message so significant. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Nice. Hardware resources. Conflicts. Yeah. How about paint though? I don't know, does it not come with paint? No way. No, there it is. Good old paint. Like, this is the version of paint that I use the most probably as well. I think the first time I used XP was on a laptop, and then eventually Dad upgraded our family PC. Whee! Here it is. It's MS Paint. Ooh. Do you get a WordPad as well? I noticed somewhere in accessories. There it is. Defragmenting. I remember in school, when I went to school, which was quite a bit later than XP era, it was like 2000. This was like my A level, so this was like 2017. One of the computer IT classes we had was like teaching us how to defragment a hard drive and shit. We had to make a video of like several like basic computer maintenance tasks. I mean, it's good that it's teaching computer literacy. I'm obviously not going to be against that. Oh no, it's nice. We can scroll to zoom in. But yeah, and there's impact. But more importantly, is there Comic Sans? Yes, it is. There it is. Oh my god, that's the one. The one adult. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Um, Central European. Whatever that means. Baltic. Western. Whatever. Um, Truly something. Can we change the color of that as well? Font. Maybe it'll be in here. Color, yes. Fuchsia, yeah. Oh my god. There it is. There it is, the childhood. Like bold Comic Sans looks better. Like this is like the most ideal version of it. But anyway, in that class we had to like film videos and stuff of doing basic like computer tasks, like adding new users on Windows and shit. And we could use any version of Windows that we wanted. And this was like, I don't know, 2015, I think. Yeah, that's when this was. So we could use any version of Windows that we wanted. So I made an XP virtual machine that I had running on my laptop. And we could use the school computers, which ran like Windows 7, I think, or something, but I made it an XP VM, and I made sure to use unregistered Hypercam 2, and I added that music, by 009 Sound Systems, 009 Sound System, that's called like Trance or something. And made it all like YouTube, like I would open like Notepad and start typing like, hello YouTube, today I show you NFS most wanted, and then like delete everything, and, like most wanted cheats, and it goes on for like an hour. Just utterly mystifying. Truly the wild west of like the internet and everything. You make a new wave sound. Wow, why isn't it playing? Wonder what's in there, like if I do properties. It's 58 bytes, which must be just like the file header or something. Record. Cue it up. Cue it up. We've queued it up. That's crazy. But yeah, oh god, that's just gonna error out. No, I don't want MSN installed. It's probably connecting to like Chinese like DNS redirect at this point. Like there's only one thing to do after I told that story. There we go. This Galaxy kind of looks like the macOS like 10.4 or whatever wallpaper. There were several, right? I wonder if you get copyright stricken for this. I wonder if I will. And that'll be the end of an era, all the themes for Windows XP, like, I may not be the biggest fan of it, but I do appreciate a lot of what it added to Windows and operating system, and a lot of people's just experience with computers, frankly. This wallpaper is great as well. Yeah, if we want that eggplant. VGA. I like how it has to say that. That's kind of crazy. See, this is the Windows 2000 like theme. It is nice of them to not just stick with it. It would have been so easy to just keep at it, and just not change anything. But at least they tried to do something different. I did always think that this, like, not this. I want to show olive green. This one's kind of ugly, but the silver theme looked very cool. For some reason, I always associated, like, either that one or there's, like, a Zoom theme. I think, I don't know. I don't have it, but there is one. And I just remember, I do remember, like, the Zoom theme just being associated in my mind with, like, SP3, and the silver theme being associated with SP3. But yeah. Shame I can't show macOS to like really demonstrate what I mean by this looking kind of dated even on release in 2001. But regardless though, never forgetty. Never forgetty spaghetti. I can show you something else though. It does look the same. It's neat. There we go. Perfect. Without those macOS versions, the early 2000s in this video looked quite empty, because Windows XP would stick around for quite a while, and it was the dominant OS, and none even would come close. Not just on desktops, but laptops, a growing sector that would soon become a really big deal. Even the special versions for tablets, PDAs, and the what have yous. So much cheap plastic crap, so many assorted Toshiba satellite cross the books, all featured this OS. But why is that? Why did Windows XP actually stick around for so long? What's Microsoft up to? And why'd they let an OS that looks like this last all the way until, what was it, 2007? Well, even before XP hit the store shelves and took the world by storm, Microsoft already knew that XP would soon look dated in such a rapidly evolving space as tech in the early 2000s, so they were hard at work behind the scenes. Technically, I'm breaking my own rule here. This definitely counts as obscure because it's unreleased. But hey, rule of cool overrides in this instant. Windows Longhorn. Kind of an interesting login screen. Hey, there we go. So yeah, you can see it's got quite a different logon UI compared to XP. I didn't really show the lock screen or whatever. But yeah, you do get a little new wallpaper. If you look, it's just really it's Bliss, just renamed. Also, we can't change. Oh, we can. There we go. Can change the wallpaper. That's probably my second favorite. But yeah, someone just renamed Bliss, and that was it. So it looks like Windows XP, and I'm sure you can see, and those of you who know, you know what this means. And you even got a slightly different start button, but it's for the most part just normal Windows XP. Yeah, your command prompt looks exactly identical. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, does this work? Isn't that a thing like was it message? Yeah, right. Creator. That's kind of funny. You can do that on XP as well. You get paint, as you would expect and everything. But yeah, let's have a look at properties. And you can see codename Longhorn. Yeah, just about the same as XP. Have noticed something though, and it's this computer icon. Clearly not XP anymore. So this was obviously Longhorn. For those of you who don't know, it is something Microsoft was developing even before XP came out, because they knew that it was kind of dated at the time, and they really wanted to push ahead and push forward and kind of get that next step going. But this was unfortunately eventually like canceled and destroyed. The development of it was reset and it never really came about. There's some concepts of it that survived into Windows 7, but I think the difference really starts once you hit that computer window. You can see really how different this is to Windows XP. You get these big, like 3D sort of skeuomorphic looking buttons and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty neat, I think. Yeah. Program files. Yeah. With just a few registry tweaks. This is the 64-bit version, but which unfortunately means I can't necessarily show everything off quite well, but the 32-bit version does support a couple extra things with a few tweaks. I just want to show you the themes, because this is just the standard Windows XP style. You do get a couple new ones. You get your slate. It's kind of like a silvery thing, and suddenly this looks a lot better. You know, this starts to make a bit more sense once you hit that different theme. And this just uses like the texture from the silver theme, I think. Gives it a bit more of a pop out sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like in particular the slate theme, you get this silvery like reflection almost. And the start menu looks a lot more like futuristic, more Vista-like to an extent. But yeah, let's go ahead and shut this down. And then hopefully I can show you what this looks like after you do a couple little registry tweaks. See what happens. So with just a couple of registry tweaks, you start to notice how this looks quite a bit different now. You get a much sleeker, even though very rough looking sort of start menu. This like interesting taskbar. There's meant to be stuff on it. Basket, whatever. But yeah, you do get notifications here, I think. Or something. Might not work right now. But yeah, you do get like the Explorer and everything starts to make sense. You even get the transparency. It's one of the things, even though they did stop the development of this, you do get some elements of this that were definitely kept around until later. Yeah. In fact, you get some animations and such. But it really starts to get even better later. There we go. That's more like it. Look at that. Now the whole entire bit of the Explorer is fully transparent. You even get a transparent taskbar, which I'm not too big on the look of, but it's not like this was final. You get a little search applet here. You get the rules and active like notifications and whatnot. And get all of this. You get a little sidebar with widgets and such. Ooh, off it goes. Oh, there it is. It's back. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty neat stuff. Open like, I don't know, control panel or something. Start to see mostly still the XP icons and whatnot. But yeah. You get a WinVer. Get some nice animations. I really like these. Really cool animations. It's a shame the taskbar doesn't light up properly and whatnot. But yeah, I really like these. Let's try and increase the desktop resolution. Oh, this is the highest I've set it to. That's fine. It definitely it doesn't work that well being a beta build and whatnot. But yeah. So apart from that, it's still very much Windows XP in a lot of ways. You do get the animated Aurora in the Explorer that I think is pretty cool. And of course the transparency is really cool. You get the recycle bin icon from, I think, Windows 7. It's kind of cel shaded. I don't know. It doesn't look like either one of them, to be honest. Yeah, and the Aurora changes the colors of it change. Because I think that's the animation is there it is. It's like moving a little bit. Yeah. Get your Minesweeper. Classic. Get your pinball. Oh, I'm running 3D pinball on this. Might be a pretty bad idea. Oh dear. It's taking a while. It just crashed, I think. No, there it is. It exists. But yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat. Your free cell. Your solitaire. You get a little space guy in there. What's that? Yeah. I don't think I saw that on XP. This little, like, arrow-looking deck. Look at that. All the cards have, like, a reflection. Truly have entered the arrow era. So, when they scrapped the development of this, they restarted. So, eventually, Windows Vista did not get all the love that it needed and deserved, really. How does send message look like on this? I keep thinking it's send message for some reason. I'm assuming I'm administrator. There it is. I do love the animation on that. It folds out. Come on, do it. Oh, it's not doing it now. Now that I've pointed it out, it's not going to do it. Maybe it's like a compositing issue. Hold up. Oh well. Whatever. But yeah, you do get the idea. It's pretty cool, all in all. I must say. Find it fun. You don't get any more themes, I don't think, here. You get the arrow theme. It's kind of just a modification of the, like, slate or jade theme or something. But yeah, still have the Windows XP modification, you know, the settings box and whatnot. So yeah, it's neat. Also do love the logo of it and everything in WinVer. I think it's pretty stylish looking. The animations... Oh no, there they are. They're not all broken. Just some of them. What's the Aurora like for music? Ooh, it's red. Exciting. I like how this is like not even an Explorer. This is like a program or something. You get play all. You don't get proper sort like files or anything. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Kind of a predecessor to libraries. I feel like that's another thing they kept around. And the glass texture on the Explorer, at least, even has this like reflectivity to it and everything. So, why don't we remember Longhorn? Yeah. hate this in XP as well. I hate how the files are hidden by default. I feel like this is the start of like things becoming kind of user annoying for the sake of just being for the sake of being user friendly. It became less user friendly, more like user annoying. There's no full path. Yeah, on hide, whatever, apply, and show control panel. Why not? I think that would have done it. So what if we refresh? Oh, it still says hidden. Keep your system working properly. Well, I want my system working properly. I mean, this does not work properly already, so... Yeah, apply to all folders. Changes will occur next time you open. So assuming this does work... Oh, no, it does not. Okay, fine. Maybe I have to log out and log in, but if I do that, there's very little chance we'll do it. But we can still make a new file on desktop. Here. Can't make a new folder for some reason, but let's save it. Control S did not work there. Yeah, there we go. Oh dear. Okay, this save as dialogue wasn't finished, I don't think. Oh, it did. Control S did probably work. It says untitled, but I don't think it is because I just created the file, right? So if I exit that, it'll be in there. Yeah, it is. It just says untitled for some reason. Who knows? Do you get word wrap? Gonna make it real classy, right? Make your windings. Bold italic windings in 72. There we go. That's exactly what you want to hear. And yeah. Log off, yeah? Do get that nice login screen. Yeah, there we go. I can log back on. This still even works, which is kind of shocking. Still hidden though. Oh well. Ooh. A little slow. It's a little slow, but it's got the spirit. So anyway, let's check out the next thing, right? Ooh, it made restart the default. That's annoying. Unfortunately, the tale of Longhorn is one where the developers had little guidance due to the increased maintenance workload on XP due to the security nightmare, and the project got largely scrapped from a code standpoint, though many of the concepts that began here do tend to show up again in many ways. It's a sign of things to come, despite the development reset, and this is what they came up with next. Ain't that the sound of Windows Vista, baby? I don't know. I think the sound distortion is actually my fault. I'm not sure if I said it correctly, but regardless, yeah, this operating system was famous for not working quite well. Do see some evidence of where it's gonna go, but I do enjoy the style of it and everything. They kept the animations from Longhorn, more or less at least. You get your little sidebar with all your widgets and stuff. It's even more translucent now. You got Windows Media Center. Yeah, how about we check that out in maybe Windows 7 where the sound isn't corrupted. Yeah, you do get the Windows XP Movie Center, kind of a remnant of the Aurora. You get a very shiny version of Aero compared to Windows 7. Much more about that reflective texture that kind of matches up with the wallpaper. It's a neat touch. I like it. I like it a lot. I do like the new icons, the sort of skeuomorphic design, and everything. Very Frutiger Arrow, obviously. It's literally Frutiger Arrow. Oh my god, it's literally Frutiger. But yeah, now let's try WinVer. Oop, that crashes right away. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, okay, cool. Windows version 6.0, almost there, you know? But yeah, ironically, Windows 7 is actually version 6.1, so that's something. And yeah, we got 4 gigs of RAM on this baby is what I put on there. And you get unrated Windows performance. You get a new sort of system information menu. It's pretty neat. Although you do still have MS Info 32, of course, for real elite hacksaws out there. You get some advanced system settings and whatnot to help you turn off the arrow. I have to say, if you did not have you do get a new personalized menu that sucks. I really don't like this one. I think the one in Windows The one in Windows 7 that they made, that's kind of a combination of these two, is probably the best of the lot. If you disable transparency, oh, you still get the glass reflection this way. That's neat. But what I was thinking of is the sort of Aero basic theme, which I don't know how you even get to that screen from here. Yeah, because there's no can do Windows Classic if you want. I feel like the sidebar looks so rough that way. But yeah, if you do switch to the Windows Aero Basic theme, however you do this in this version, it does kind of suck. I find that if you first loaded into it and all you had was, oh, there we go. That's what we're talking about. It's like hidden away. But yeah, if this was your first impression of Vista, I would not blame you for thinking this is ugly as sin, because it is. But yeah, like, and that probably was your first impression of Windows, let's be honest. I do like how you still get the Windows Classic theme, but I think that's a lot more like Windows 2000 than it is Windows 98 or something. It is a deeper blue, but it's still a gradient. This is definitely Windows 2000 all the way. Well, apart from obviously the visual changes, they're not theme related, let's say. But yeah. I feel like if this is what you saw, I don't blame you for thinking this is crap, because once you get that Windows Aero proper, you get a much nicer top 3 buttons, they're much bigger, and they'll light up. I always like that, the fact that they light up when you hover over them. Something I missed in Longhorn, but yeah, here we are. You get have a look at Device Mangler. See what's in there. Yeah, that's Windows Vista. I don't know if there's a lot to really talk about in this. We got Windows Ultimate Extras, which just brings us to Windows Update. Not so sure. Learn about Ultimate Extras. Oh, I guess it's something I have to download. Oh, so internet-centric. Yeah, I'm not putting this thing on the internet, of all things. I don't care enough to even try. At worst, it's just gonna be kind of a pain. At best, it's just gonna be a pain. At worst, it's gonna like cause some malice to occur, and at best, it's just gonna be kind of a pain to get it working. But yeah, I mean, let's get this over with. You do get a PowerShell. I believe this might be the first version of consumer Windows that comes with PowerShell and everything, which is a lot better. You do get this. I do wonder if that's part of cmd.exe. Yes, it is. But also, do we have administrator does not exist? Yeah, this is the beginning of UAC. I almost forgot. There we go. That's better. That's more like it. I like how it makes us error notification as well. Yeah, nonetheless, might as well. Oh, also, what in games do we have? Accessories probably. Bluetooth file transfer. I remember transferring so many files on over Bluetooth with this back in the day. Kind of dig this version of Paint as well. It's very XP coded, probably literally, in a very literal sense. But yeah, and there you go. Windows sidebar. Ooh, you get tablet PC folder in there. To get a new-ish calculator. Do get us a notepad. Still, I can't scroll in. But that was on WordPad anyway. I do love that this has search. That's so cool. I'm just a big enjoyer of that. Change to Windows Vista Basic. Well, there you go. To improve performance. That was kind of the big deal with this, is the lack of drivers and terrible performance. That really killed this OS, like right away. And so it is. Oh yeah, hold up. No. Let's go back to Windows Aero. Hate how it auto switches that. But there is something I quite like about, Vista, and it is these folder icons. I feel like, I don't know why it's in list view by default, but if you make them large, I do like them. I like how they're translucent, shadow casting. It's just so over the top. Even Windows 7 doesn't have this, but no, in retrospect, it's kind of lovable. It was saved to documents. That's fair enough. Again, I feel like during this time period, transferring files over USB was probably the most common way of doing so. But over time, I mean, file sharing sites were around for a while by now, and you would upload stuff onto like Rapid Share or Mega Upload or whatever. But it wasn't always reliable. A lot of it was just more like Juarez stuff that you would upload there. So this is Windows Vista. Again, there's not all that much to talk about here because there's more I would like to talk about with regards to Windows 7. So let's go ahead and move on to that, huh? Also, this is the first OS that made hibernation the default. It even works in VMware. Look at that. That sucks. How about you die? Yeah, anyway. How's our old buddy Linux doing? Well, 2009 marked the release of Debian 5. So one interesting thing about this iteration of Linux is when they started doing the live CD or live DVD is they started doing this to essentially let you try the OS before you actually use it. So that's what I figured I'd show off for this one. It can take a little while it tries to auto-configure non-existent networking. But here we go. So this is, I believe, GNOME 2. Whatever. One thing that immediately stands out to me about this is the fact that there is no unified settings menu. There's no like control panel. Or I guess there kind of is. There's all the settings here, but you can't like click on this to open it right up. You get just appearance, which is kind of like your overall settings menu. Can't actually change the system screen resolution. Hold up, let me do that. There it is. Set it to 1368. Why 8? That's so strange. You know what? Screw it. That's fine. Usually it's 1366 by 768, but I guess this is okay too. So yeah, this is obviously looking pretty dated for 2009. Compared to something like Windows 7 or how Mac OS looked at the time. But yeah, regardless, it's certainly an improvement over the last desktop, I think. We still get a lot of really cool built-in apps in here, all these games, graphics. We get GIMP, we get no more the GIMP, just GIMP, newer version of it. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like this layout somehow makes even less sense to me than it did before. I wonder if we can change it. How about we make it nice and HD, right? Boy, I sure wish I could make sense of this mess. I know that this is like here. That's meant to be over there. It's meant to be this way. We can extend that down, hopefully. Yeah, that more or less looks like a real graphics editing software now. But I mean, I don't mean to dog on GIMP too much. I just feel like in the 90s, this kind of split window design was fine. But by now, it was pretty unforgivable, I think. Like, and going on into like, I don't know, maybe 2017 was around when they dropped that. We'll see. We'll see about that. But you have all sorts of settings. We do have main menu. Oh, there we go. Oh, but that's just for configuring the actual items in the menu. It's kind of interesting. Wonder what this Debian bit does. Yeah, let's see, Debian. Well, I guess that again just kind of opens up every single program that we have installed. That's kind of nice that it doesn't actually do this by default, because then you only get the applications that are actually graphical and everything. Is interesting, comes with transmission for BitTorrent. It's kind of neat. Comes with OpenOffice, a doomed project to say the least. And obviously, if you want an open source doohickey now, for office stuff, you definitely want to stick with LibreOffice or something. But yeah, here we have a file browser. Nice and simple file browser. Has kind of a web browser look to it. I actually quite like it. Wonder if we can get an about. Nautilus 2.20, yeah. As far as I'm aware, Nautilus is still the main file browser in GNOME. It looks quite different, of course, but yeah, I guess this is the old school Nautilus, which is pretty neat. Acquire. Well, it was like gonna ask me for a purchase. I was interested to see if we get like a, oh yeah, there we go, GIMP 2.4.7. Oh, whoa, watch that. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And this says 2007. Now, once again, I might have gotten the year wrong. It's not like an about this. Oh no, there we go. About GNOME. Build date 2008. So probably 2009, given how Debian tends to be a little bit behind the absolute bleeding edge. But you do get these shortcuts here as well. This is Nautilus as well. You get a kind of different view of it. It's interesting. You don't get any of the sidebars or anything this way. And if I expand it, it becomes much more like a Windows XP browser or something. Maybe just to keep it nice and simple for that. But that's interesting that it kind of has these different types of views. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, that about kind of does it for Debian 5. I mean, you get a lot of different stuff on here. I think the default browser is Iceweasel, which is a fork of Firefox. And as I recently found out, Firefox itself was kind of an offshoot of Firebird, which was an offshoot of Netscape Navigator. So it all kind of connects. At least I think that's the lineage. I don't know if we can go to any website. I don't think I actually have the networking for this. No, I don't think so. But yeah, I feel like this is all in all pretty cool. You get virtual desktops over here. Very Unixy thing to have. Just what is this? Oh, this is Jedit. That's kind of neat. Kind of like that save icon. Just has good vibes. I feel like I could trust that save icon, you know? That's a save icon you can fucking trust. But yeah, no like control and mouse wheel for the scroll, for the zoom. But that's okay. I mean, this is kind of shocking how well this works considering this is just a live ISO. Like, there is no drivers that aren't just bundled in for it or anything. And I'm not running it on anything weird. I'm just running it on the default, like, VM, whatever, default specs and all that. But yeah, I so honestly thought that would have been in there by now. Let's do a Unix classic. And see what we get. 103. Let me make sure that we're in a list. 104 apparently. Unless it just prints an extra like status line or something. No, I don't think it does. Oh, it does. At the top it gives you a total. So no, maybe we just want to stick to that and count that. Yeah, nice. And what about user bin? Oh, wow, that's a lot. In fact, if we do R 1014 and user games, right? Yeah. Nice. So yeah, you get a lot with this. Still white on black. What terminal is this anyway? Just GNOME terminal. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you get a little pop-up with the GNU public license. Bless y'all. HP and Red Hat. See, I bet that would have been confusing for someone working at Red Hat, who wanted to, if they had like a contact at the company HP, they just saw HP at Red Hat and they were like, huh, is that HP the company or HP a person who works here? I'm sorry if you are watching. That's such a dumb joke. I hope you're not too offended if for some reason a person who works at a company like Red Hat, something so awesome, is watching this like slop that I've slapped together. Then yeah, you know, big respect. No offense intended. GNOME Terminal is free software. Oh my god, what an address. 51st Franklin Street, Boston, Massachusetts. Oh my god. Boston. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, well, 2009 was the year that, I don't know, we should, before we go, still no Control-Alt-T, but maybe the VM's blocking that, though I don't think it did it for the other things, but, let me do a uname-a as well. Let's see. So yeah, 2009 kernel, version 2.6. So it's interesting, we have not moved a single major version number since 1999. You know, with where we last looked at Debian 2.1, and that was version 2.2. So this is only using the Linux kernel version 2.6, which is kind of interesting. Not much of a jump. I think the next jump is going to be a bigger. But yeah, so I feel like 2009 was the year the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie came out. And that always reminds me of the Onion sketch, new Star Trek film, fun, watchable. And it's just like about how upset the fans are at that fact. I personally find it mild and inoffensive compared to Discovery and all that crap. So I'm just gonna say I thought I could talk about Star Trek forever, but I guess most of these operating systems came out after most of the good Star Trek, so not much to talk about there. I think that just about does it. Also, I do like how it just opens it. Nice and easy, no problems, even though there's no file extension or anything. Wonder if that changes the icon. Oh, wonder if that changes the icon for it though. Try it. No, it's just the same. It knows what it is. It doesn't need an extension. It's too smart. I do wonder what these buttons are about. Show desktop. Oh, sure. So if I go in here and click that, yeah. I see the purity test is no longer here. Probably okay. I would be like that. Oh, we got some free cell. Very similar to Windows in a way. Bonded or GNOME Jello. Oh, I kind of dig the somewhat of a flat design, but in a way it's a bit more old-timey looking. But yeah, anyway, I think that about does it for me. I don't see anything very interesting in here. What is this remote desktop? What is this? I know what it probably does, but oh, this runs a VNC server by default? Oh dear, that's certainly relic of its time, huh? Oh well, login window. Oh sure. It's a very Windows-like thing. Little front end for downloading apps. That's really cool. Yeah, if we had a network, we'd be able to pull these down. But yeah, App Store. Oh, GNOME, like a little GNOME App Store. That's neat. About me, yada yada. Worth showing off custom. I don't know why the font became bigger as soon as I opened that, and it seems to stay that way, but that's okay. What's interesting is that the customization here, I think this is the last time we're gonna see truly like XP coded GNOME custom. I mean, look at this. Now you flex it. Let's see these themes. I feel like the themes are good. I don't know what that. Oh, I see what that means now. Oh god, I mean that's very obvious in retrospect. But I was show icons and menus. I was like, which menus? Where? What are you talking about? Yeah, now we flex it. See with that like reflective thing, this looks like a lot more period appropriate. Oh, whoa. Tetris Pro over here. Love these icons, kind of. I don't know what that's going for. It's simultaneously like cartoony and cel shaded, but also like 3D. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, they're kind of in between. What about these icons? Oh, that's alright. What about this? I feel like these are nice and colorful. I like these actually. They're kind of simple, colorful, but very like distinct. I feel like they're very visually distinct. Not the most like uniform and professional, but they're neat. This is just like Mac, I guess. But also kind of historically like Linux and such. Now we're talking. Look at that. Now this is like what about this sphere crystal? I see that on there. There's kind of a reflection in the thumbnail, but there is not. At least I doubt I have any 3D acceleration here. But whoa. Now this looks like some kind of like a UML diagram or like a network diagram type icon. Yeah, I kind of dig the wasp one. I feel like this works, you know? This gives everything like a nice bit of yellow. Sometimes you can just use a bit of yellow. You also get to customize. Whoa, so much crap in here. Look at that. Clear looks classic, Debian red. Ooh, we're dangerous now. We entering danger zone. Gorilla, industrial, lush, like industrial. Mist, Rayleigh, Redmond. Wow, guess what this one's inspired by. Simple, sphere crystal, thin ice. I kind of like the wasp, honestly. You can get all the different window decorations. Do we get like Redmond style? No, I guess we don't. We do get something very close though. Do love me aging gorilla. No idea what that's named after. It's so weird to me, but I bet it's just like some old window manager or something, because I see plenty of reference to gorilla. And I don't know what it means. Kind of like this with the white text. Like that could get straining after a while, but you know, if you wanted it to be bright and colorful and like user-friendly, which we have all discovered by now is the way to go. If you're building like a desktop type situation, I feel like that is what you want. I feel like these buttons are not distinct enough. I feel like that's something you know, with macOS they have the colors, right? So they can afford them all to be uniform. With Windows, you want the like, you have the distinct shapes, right? And yeah, I feel like it's the same with the Xbox and Sony if you think about it. Like, also we have a desktop grid. Like a Mac. I keep expecting it to kind of act like a Mac. Oh, well, not quite, maybe. Oh shit, oh, I thought this was like gonna like a stack or something. You can just put things. Oh, you can untick that, and now it's just everywhere. Ugh. Yeah. See that there's like a. And I hover over it, there's like a little black square that pops up, but I think that's because I don't have the... Yeah. I don't have hardware acceleration working. So it is a grid, but it's very like small and granular. Like you can just put things like right on top of one another. Oh. Except these, I guess. This maybe tries to open that with the other thing. That's kind of interesting. But I guess as long as they're like files or just directories or something, then you can do that. Well, anyway, yeah, I think that concludes it. Very nice to see customizable classic GNOME, friends of GNOME. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see who GNOME friends are, at least back then. I'm sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that page is still around, probably. But yeah, classic, good old classic GNOME. Bless its soul. I don't necessarily miss it. Like, as in, I will return, you know, but, I do think that, probably, it is something to feel kind of nostalgic for, in my mind. What's that? Could not launch, oh. Okay. Bye-bye. What a beep. Damn. Do be beeping now.